What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's Greg Meyer with Alterra Home Loans. Just wanted to touch base with you guys on a couple of things in reference to the USDA website and really how to navigate the website as well as finding exactly what properties are eligible for USDA. To help me out and assist, I have Mr. Bryan Clark. Say hello, Bryan.
Hello, everyone.
And what he's going to do is he's going to help me out because not only is he kind of new to the website as well for USDA, I don't know the MLS, and that's where he comes into play because in order to do this correctly, you as an agent need to know your MLS as well, and then you learn from the USDA website, put it together, and you can find exactly what properties are USDA eligible. So what we're going to do is going to start from here, and you're going to see we're sharing the screen, so what you're going to see is first, how to bring up the USDA website. All right, so what Bryan's going to do is kind of start from scratch. So let's just say we go to Google, and right from Google, we're just going to go ahead and search USDA property eligibility.
Let me pull up Google. USDA property eligibility. There we go.
Once you do that, typically the first or second one, no ads, obviously, but the first or second real link is going to be the one you want to click on.
Click. Magic.
And there it comes up. Now, what you'll see right across, right about the top, you see blue tabs, or not really tabs, but you see single family housing guaranteed, and you also see single family housing direct. We will only do the guaranteed program. So that's the one that and not just that's what's available for all lenders. It's a guaranteed program. So that's the one you're going to click.
Hey, Greg, before we move forward, I wanted to point something out, too. For those of you guys and gals who may forget some things after this training, there's a whole tutorial link here. If you click, they've got a user guide and all kinds of stuff so that in further detail. I know some of you are okay with the sort of generalized overview, which is what we're going to be doing today. But if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, they got themselves a nice 52-page PDF here for you to read up on and kind of get all the ins and outs of USDA, which can be very helpful. But since Greg and I like you, we're gonna keep it basic and show you just what you need to do. So we're clicking here.
Yep, click there. Then it's gonna ask for you to agree. Oh, you already agreed because we went through this first.
That's right.
Right away, there would be something that's asked you to accept before you can move forward. So you want to click the button to accept. And once you do that, it's going to bring you right to this page right away where you see the whole United States. And Bryan's going to zoom in real quick, just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit because I want to show them. You can see, guys, as you zoom in, things start becoming shaded in. Everything starts getting colored. So as you start zooming in, you want to give it a second to catch up and let the USDA website kind of catch up to you zooming in because everything that's shaded in is not eligible. Bryan, if you could just scroll down just a little so they can see the key, actually the bar.
Oh, you mean this? Sorry. Whoa.
So bottom right, you see your legend, and you'll see that if it's shaded in, it is not eligible. It's ineligible. All right. So that's the main thing. And if you notice on the top left, right under property eligibility, there is a search bar. So if you do have a specific address, feel free to put in that address. It gets you in the general vicinity. Or if you have a specific address you want to see if it's USDA, you can put that in. If not, you could zoom in like Bryan's doing, and he's going to zoom into a specific area that as you can get closer, you see what's eligible and what's not. And that's kind of your first step because now you obviously have a client who has told you where they want to be, somewhere where they want to be. And this is going to allow you to kind of pinpoint that direction or vicinity that you're trying to get in. At the same time, you want to not waste your time driving around all over the place to figure out what properties are USDA eligible. So here, we're able to kind of pinpoint a vicinity, a direction, an area that you guys are going to go to, and then you're going to use the MLS to bring up exactly what properties are available or are for sale in that area. So, Bryan, let's find a good area.
While I'm doing that, basically, it was funny, guys. When I was first doing this with him, I brought it up to him. I was like, well, man, everywhere where people want to live is not eligible. Well, and that's when he explained to me the purpose of the USDA is to spark growth and interest in areas that may not be fully, developed as a, community. Maybe it's on the uprise, or maybe it just doesn't have a large uh, population. So when you start getting into these areas that are common, they used to be, USDA areas, and now a good amount of people have moved over to them. Then it will change because now the interest is big enough to where USDA doesn't have to have any type of incentive. Let me find some. Oh, good. Everywhere I'm looking gets knocked. So we'll do this. Lake Gem and Tangerine. How about that? That's North Orange Blossom Trail. So this seems like a little spot here.
Perfect. I mean, like Brian's saying, it's basically population per square foot.
Yeah.
And every year USDA is going to say that they're going to change their eligibility maps. And what they're doing is looking at the population per square foot. And for those who know East Orlando and Avalon Park, I always like to bring that up because it's only been about 2, maybe 3 years 2 years that they've been ineligible. Prior to that, Avalon Park was completely eligible while they were booming and growing. And I mean, townhomes upon townhomes with absolutely no land whatsoever were USDA eligible, and multiple clients were purchasing in there with 0% down. So
now you got to move out to Pumpkin Center.
Yeah, now you got to get moving. Now you got to get out because they've redone the maps. They just redid them in October. So these are, if you look on the blue tab up, you see property eligibility, and right next to it says previous eligible areas. So if you wanted to look at the previous,
that'll knock out some of the year. Oh no, it brought us all the way back.
Brian, now got to start over.
No,
but
don't want to do that.
We're going to go to property eligibility because we want to look at what's available now. So now Brian's got to start back over and get us into that vicinity or that area that looks good. And you can pick any spot. Obviously, it doesn't make a difference where your client's trying to go. But at the end of the day, you want to zoom in and get you to that area because what Brian's going to do now is he's going to bring up his MLS, which should already be up when you're starting to do something like this.
Whoops. There it is.
Your MLS is going to come up, and you are basically going to follow Bryan now because I could do USDA, but he's going to run the MLS. But at the end of the day, I believe you want to go to your interactive map for a quick search where you can actually, kind of draw out the boundary of where you want to, the area that you want to try to get in. And then from there, it's going to bring up all the properties available for sale. The reason that you're doing this, the map on the MLS, you want to kind of position it to look exactly like you did with the USDA. You want to get that same look. So now you can see both maps and the areas that's USDA, and then you're going to basically draw that same area on the MLS, and then you'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find. We're in Yalaha, so let's go back to. Here's my USDA. So there's the Yalaha Lane Park. So I want to kind of find a similar. I really want to move to Pumpkin Center. So I'm going to go look and see if I can find these little Lake Harris. So what you want to, basically, you just want to kind of align the maps so that they match up in a sense. So there's Howie in the Hills, Yalaha. Maybe a little zoom. It's going to look a little different. Where's Pumpkin Center? Oh, they don't have Pumpkin Center on here, Greg. They don't show it. It's in here. It's just not wanting to show Pumpkin Center on this one.
It's like old school games. What can you find that's different?
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, so we're pretty close to being zoomed in a similar fashion as far as your miles and distance. So if your client, let's say, because Mount Dora is clearly booming, and let's say they wanted to move on a further out, closer to Yalaha or something like that, and they wanted to be part of USDA, you can sort of circle these areas and draw the lines. You just have to try to follow and match them together with what's showing. So, for instance, the easiest way to do this would be to draw the polygon, okay? Because that's a point to point. So what I mean by that is I'm going to draw point to point to match the area so that I know I'll be hitting everything that's falling in line with this particular area that my client wants to view. So let's say they wanted to just kind of follow along, and we're going to follow along the turnpike and then up here. And so I'm going to do a point to point. Okay, so now we've got a circled area. Okay, so basically if we look here and we look back at this is what I just highlighted is all USDA qualified. So that means if anyone wants to move out into this area, we'll say assuming that my client wants to kind of be over in this general area. And what's really nice is, you can pitch them, hey, you're close to the turnpike, and get right back real fast. 441's not far away. I can pull up and include everything that's in here. So now all we have to do is hit active. So now it's going to tell me there's 189 homes that are active, 89 matches in the area, and the rest, you can just narrow down like you normally would. We'll put single family home to eliminate any condos and stuff like that. And let's say my client wanted a pool and all that good stuff. So then, once we get back, we go back to the results. All these properties are within the USDA range. They are all showing up in the right area. And what's really nice is we can just kind of jump on the map here and it'll show us where they all are if it wants to stop being delinquent. So here are all the properties. So we got a couple along the borders, but you can see where a great congregation of them are. So I'm guaranteeing you this, Greg, it's probably going to be one that shows up on the no USDA list soon, because if there's a lot of homes selling around the lake, which I'm sure is a nice area, they may get their per foot per person deal quick.
Per population per square foot.
That's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they have till next October. So before that map even has a chance to even change.
Okay.
So as a realtor, if you can learn this, if it's something you find beneficial, I think it helps mainly because we all have clients. We have them now. That clients, they have no money for down payment, no money for asset closing costs whatsoever. They have a few $1,000s that can help with inspections and maybe reserve money, and they need USDA. So instead of you as an agent just driving around aimlessly trying to find the properties or searching on MLS trying to find something that says in the remarks USDA, you can actually do this reverse search. Now you have all these properties that are eligible. Now you go through these specific properties, see what matches up to your client's preference, and go look at only those properties.
Yeah.
Save yourself a day.
I think it's a good thing, too, to market this kind of stuff. We always talk about what kind of videos should we do, what kind of things should we talk about. I mean, that's a good educational video to put out to your database, to your sphere of influence for all you agents out there watching this is, hey, did you know if you go buy a USDA qualified home, you'll save money on down payment. So if someone is, maybe they're looking in Seminole County and they're like, I want everything for free. We know that's not going to happen because Seminole County isn't under the USDA. But if you can say, well, hey, you know what? If you don't mind Howie in the Hills or, Yahala or La Lala, whatever they want to call that one, that you have some options for them to where they could go possibly to a different spot because, it's only a 20, 30-minute drive from Seminole County. So it's a good information to have, and it's also something, Greg and Evan would be willing to do a video with you on. Some of our agents already have. So remember, use this USDA website, learn a little bit about it. Like I said, if you want to download that huge PDF, you can, but it'd probably be easier for you to just ask Greg and Evan some questions if you need a little clarity. But it's just a matter of eligibility is really what it comes down to. And really you as an agent need to know because you don't want to be driving all over the place. I mean, Wedgefield is still up and coming, and they have some areas coming out. And there's a lot of folks that are still buying and selling in St. Cloud area. So you have a lot of these areas up and down and that are in between Point Siena and Davenport and even in Haines City. I mean, that gets to be a little far, but there's definitely some areas around where you can kind of put some of these folks and help them out. Maybe it is a first home or something like that. But if you don't have any money for down payment and all that stuff, beggars can't be choosers all the time. So we gotta kind of put them in where we can get them. But there's still a lot of nice areas that show up.
And if it's too far out of your preference for driving, refer it.
Yeah.
But take charge and figure out where it's going to go instead of just aimlessly not knowing what's going on. I mean, you can really take charge here. And what I like, I mean, this is what we're doing right now is for your buyer. But at the same time, I want to give you guys ammunition to get those listings and to be the best realtor you can be and be the resource. If you go to these expired listings or trying to get a listing appointment, I guarantee there are not realtors that are going in there and saying to the client, do you know whether your property is or is not USDA eligible? And if it is, guess what? You can market the property as USDA versus just questioning FHA or conventional. You can be that much better. Now, you might think that's not that big of a deal, but to a seller, you're giving as much possible that you can to them. And that's huge because you could actually say, no, your property is not USDA eligible, so we know we cannot market it that way. Like we know for sure it can't go that route, so we have to stick this way. And here's how I know. Boom, boom, boom. Show them. Show them your technology. Show them your skills. And with that, you never know. They might want to move to a USDA eligible area, and then all of a sudden you're getting both sides. So great. It's a great tool, great opportunity. We're not asking you to definitely not qualify anybody. You don't have to worry about credit score or income or anything. That's where we run those numbers and make sure that the debt ratio works and everything's in line. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to find the properties and at least search around and like I said, not drive around aimlessly, but find those exact properties and pinpoint them and go see those properties exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely something to bring up on the first initial consultation you have. If they show interest or they want to do FHA or they're trying to let you know that down payment money is limited, then this is just something that you could have that conversation with them right out the gate and let them know. Certainly there are things that we could do to help you, but they are in specific areas. So that way they kind of know going in, and we're not binding up, everybody's Greg's time and everyone else's time when it's something you can find out very early on if they're game to go that route.
So you say you don't have any money. Well, let's show you where you're going to go.
That's right.
If you're going to go USA, are you okay with living out in Wedgefield or Bithlow or
Cow Creek,
anything? Are you okay with moving out in those vicinity and getting out there? And if so, then USA is a program for you, and we need to start looking at that. I mean, it's just you guys taking charge and giving you another tool, put into that belt, that utility belt, and use it when you can.
Sounds good, man. Well, Greg, thanks so much for the information. And folks, I hope you guys are able to take this info and get out there and use it to your benefit. I highly recommend doing some videos on this and getting yourself some traffic because it's a great topic to talk about. All right. So until next time, we will see you later.
Have a good one.